tons of alpha today in terms of education, and I love that. I really do, because I think that as much as a good trade setup helps you guys, it's the lessons that will stay with you, that will make you remember and do better on many trades going forward throughout your life. So one of the things that I've noticed, and this is something I want to bring to your attention, is look at the sell-off in gold and then look at the reflex bounce. So number one, the sharper something sells off, the sharper it bounces. That's just the nature of the beast, right? If you basically are in a scenario where a stock drops like this, it'll have a retrace like that. If a stock goes like this, what do you think the bounce is going to be? The bounce is going to be like this, right? A much smaller bounce. So I actually prefer this pattern formation. I prefer the much sharper bounces because drops, because you'll get bigger bounces to them. Now, one of the things here that we got into here is essentially, let me just get rid of that. Hang on one second. There we go. One of the things that I want to kind of impress upon you is that this type of drop on gold is basically a flush out. And this happens before bigger moves. So when I see this, and let me erase these lines, but basically when I see this, to me this is probably the last big flush out on gold before we eventually break up. Now, I still think that, again, and I showed you guys this before, right? This pivot low to this pivot low, that's your target, and that's probably where we're going to have short-term resistance. But this is very short-term. This will probably go like this, and then it's going to break up like that. Now, again, this is the final flush out. It's the nastiest flush. Many down days in a row. I can't tell you how many people were saying, oh my gosh, Gareth, what's happening to gold? Oh my goodness. Well, and what did I say in these game plans? Don't worry, it's still into support. As long as support holds, it holds. And again, it's about not panicking, not letting that emotion get the better of you. As soon as emotion gets control of you, you're good, you're done. The market great white sharks, the sharks out there will smell that blood, that emotion, which is the blood to them, and they will eat you alive. You have to go by the charts. It's the only non-biased thing you have. Everything else, what I think, what I feel, what my heart says, what I really want, that market doesn't care about that, right? So in any case, what we have in this situation, guys, is probably the last flush out. And I only bring this to your attention because if we go to oil on the opposite side, what ended up happening with oil? Remember that trade recently where I said it was going to top at around $95 per barrel or $93 a barrel, and it popped to 95? Like, again, this pop here made everyone freak out. It was kind of like the last push just to get the most stops triggered and then to be able to reverse. And what happened? It fell like this. And so this was the opposite of what happened to gold, in my opinion, where now we're in a downward motion. We've come down, we've bounced, and I think we're going to roll over like that. But the market has this tendency to whip you out. It pushes you, especially before these bigger breakouts or breakdowns, it's going to make one final move in the direction. The only way you avoid getting whipped out, in my opinion, is through position size, not being over leveraged, and then learning to read the charts. And once you have the charts behind you, it takes the emotion away. It's like, okay, well, it is what it is. It's right there. There's no emotion, there's no thinking, it is what it is. If we flip back to gold, again, going back to gold, right? Jumping that chart here. So if we go back to gold, there's really no emotion, right? Because even though you've had a nasty sell on gold, what is the chart telling us? Well, you got this major support here, and you're still within a beautiful channel to the downside right there. So the chart is holding. All right, so anyways, that's, again, just an amazing lesson to behold, guys.